welcome to CNBC TV18.com presents Haptic Customer First. I'm Shibani Gharat. Today we will take a closer look at the customer experience enhancement in financial services and especially the asset management category. The pandemic has brought forth a bigger pool of investors into the market, especially the first time investors. With a bigger influx of novice investors, it is crucial for financial institutions and asset management companies to ensure the customer experience is not only smooth and seamless but also optimal. To discuss this, I have with me Radhika Gupta, the MD and CEO of Edelweiss AMC.
Thanks, Shivani.
Radhika, with the emergence and influx of innovative technologies in every sector, even banks and financial services are starting to look and feel like tech companies. What does this have to say about where the industry is headed?
So, for one, I think it gives us a tremendous opportunity. Historically, in the BFSI business, I think if you wanted to create a large consumer business, you were very dependent on physical presence in a large number of branches across India. And I think COVID and a new generation of investors has shown that it is possible with technology both to attract and service and communicate with customers, which is, I think, the real three parts of what we do: attracting customers, servicing them, and communicating with them effectively without physical presence. So I think one, our businesses have got a lot more scale and scale without physical presence. So I think that is the macro landscape. And as you said in your introduction, it's not only about servicing the customer anymore. I think as consumer businesses, we also compete with a lot of technology companies. So consumers are used to the experience or expect the experience with a financial services company when they're dealing with our apps or our websites or our service that they do when they're dealing with an FMCG company or a food delivery company. So there's also constant pressure on us to keep upping our service standards because people are used to a constant increase in the quality of service because of technology.
In the beginning, this entire pandemic has made many customers take a better and a closer look at their finances. And also at the same time, although there are new customers, the existing customer needs are also rapidly evolving. And financial services institutions have to deliver exceptional customer experience. How are you conceptualizing better products and services to cater to these fast changing customer needs, Radhika?
So I think there are three things we're doing, and I would break it into the three parts. One is we're trying to make sure that the buying experience is very, very good. I think there's a deluge of information in financial services products in asset management itself. There are 45 to 50 mutual funds, and we want to make sure that in these heavy markets, people buy our products and they buy them for the right reasons. I truly believe buying a mutual fund is very different from buying an FMCG product because you're not buying a product, you're buying a promise of future returns. So we've enabled our websites and digital properties to really have a lot of information in very, very simple ways without technical jargon so that people can go out and buy. I think the buying experience and buying is not just transactions and payment gateways. That I think is hygiene, and most of us have got that right. But just making sure that you have the right information out there, you set the right expectations while buying a product. I think that's one thing that we focused on. The second thing we focused on is the ongoing customer experience after a consumer buys. Funds are likely to go through challenges. Funds have drawdowns. For instance, we ran a China fund, for instance, that had a tough period. How we're communicating with the customer through digital properties, through interactive events, through the information we send the consumer. I think this is extremely important because it is an experience. And then finally, how are we servicing the customer? So in terms of all the service requests that you have, whether it's changing a nominee, whether it's updating a mobile number, we try to make all of that easy, digital, and seamless. So I would say these are the three legs of customer experience that we want to work on.
Correct. On that note, with this entire competition in financial services growing, retaining customer has also become a challenge, is what we have seen over the past 2 years. Take us through some of the challenges that you faced in retaining customers, and how are you combating these challenges?
No, actually, for most of us, the last 2 years have been years of customer growth, and they've been easier years. I think the retention challenge is right ahead of us. In fact, I think 2022 is going to be a tough year, in terms of retention for many of us. Because what happened is people came in 2020, they came in 2021, they've seen super returns. Many of these, as I said, customers who came into financial services or asset management products are in some sense children of a bull market. And when they see not so good markets, they will start asking questions. We're already seeing that with the last couple of months on our social media handles, people asking those kind of questions. I think there are a couple of things that we can do is one, we should be proactive in responding to queries. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in. Particularly, we're one of the more active brands on social media. So using new age formats to constantly communicate with consumers and educate consumers. Also, in terms of redemption, for instance, we're going to do an annual open house. We did one last year. We're doing one this year where we don't talk about markets. We just talk about the funds they are invested in and the kind of expectations they should have from the past year to this year. So I think a lot more conversation needs to happen in terms of correct expectation setting, because really you lose customers because of expectations going on here, I believe.
Correct. And rightly you said that, a lot of conversation needs to happen with your customer. Share with us about any product development that was a result of a customer feedback, Radhika.
Oh God, I truly believe that most of what we do and do well is a result of customer feedback. I'll give you two examples. Um, we had a old fund that used to invest in recently listed IPOs. It was a closed-ended fund. When the IPO boom started happening 2 years ago, there was a lot of feedback, especially on our social channels, that can you make this an ongoing product for us? Because retail consumers find it very difficult to choose the right IPO, read through those long DRHPs. Can they outsource that to a fund? So we created Edelweiss recently listed IPO fund, which was the first in its category. Another one of our largest businesses is our passive fixed income business, which started with Bharat Bond ETF and the government of India. And the final product design, again, there was a result of consumer feedback. Consumers told us they needed a very simple product on the mutual fund platform that mirrored an FD experience, that didn't have the complexity of duration and interest rates and all of that. They just wanted to mirror an FD experience. So we created what became the target maturity index funds and is one of the fastest growing categories in the industry. So I truly believe it's not one or two, but most good products come out of the ability to solve a customer's problem.
Great, great to know that. And tell me something, because there has been so much of conversation around digital and enhancing the digital customer experience. What's your opinion on delivering an omni-channel customer experience, and does it truly empower you to deliver exceptional customer service?
Look, it's work in progress, and we are omni-channel businesses. With COVID, of course, a significant amount of the transactions have moved digital. I think we are probably 90+% digital transactions. Because even the physical guys, even the transactions that are not happening through edelweissmf.com or your property are happening through channel partners. Even the B2B transactions that are happening through our distribution partners, they're using a technology mechanism like an exchange mechanism or a tool like MF Utilities. So a significant amount of transactions now are digital. There is a small amount of physical transactions, and the job is on us to make sure that both experiences are convenient. But in the last 2 years for us, we've revamped our digital properties completely, both from a transaction experience and from a servicing experience. And we monitor the NPS on these extremely carefully. I think the goal in asset management is that when someone wants to buy, it's a very convenient experience to buy, and when someone has a query, it's a very very convenient experience for them. So that's the goal. I think on the broad point of digital is an important enabler of the business. Of course, the business is not digital. The business continues to be asset management. So we focus on good products and delivering what's right, but we just want to make sure it's very seamless.
Okay. Finally, before we go, this entire financial landscape is in a constant state of change, and your products and solutions, need to be adaptable to the changing demand. So, how are you equipped to meet any challenges that these sudden disruptions can throw your way?
So I think financial services and asset management is just a constant state of disruption. India's capital markets themselves are very new. As I said, 2 years ago, debt index funds and debt passive products were unheard of. Today, it's an 80,000 crore industry, could be a 3 lakh crore industry, and there are many such stories happening. In fact, if there's one place I spend a lot of time personally as the CEO on the business is product development, because I truly believe that we almost need to run labs, within the firm where we are constantly thinking of product ideas. We're constantly trying to understand consumer problems. And yet, we are also not in the phase where we're doing NFO after NFO. You don't launch things for the sake of launching things. I think the disruption has to be scalable and meaningful. And ultimately, I think Indian financial services is about solving simple problems at large scale. So for us, that is the one line statement that we want to get.
That's a wonderful thought. In fact, solving simple problems at a large scale. Radhika Gupta, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.